Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Welcome to New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and joining me today are licensed professional clinical counselor Becky Brown, who is also the president of New Life Ministries. How are you, Ms. Becky?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing great. Also here, licensed marriage and family therapist Alice Benton. Greetings, Dr. Alice.
Hello.
And if you have a question about anxiety today, it's a great day to call in because these two are going to be on tomorrow night for the anxiety webinar that we're doing. It's called From Chaos to Calm. It is not too late to sign up for that at newlife.com or at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But we're here today to help you with whatever you're facing. Maybe you're a pop star whose professional football player boyfriend recently proposed to her, and you want to make sure this one doesn't wind up like all the others, a bad breakup song. Call us swiftly at 1-800-229-3000.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Okay. Alice, how do you want to start us off today?
Well, I want to give you a taste of what we're offering tomorrow, what Becky and I are offering tomorrow. Jeremiah 6:14 says, "They offer superficial treatments for my people's mortal wound. They give assurances of peace when there is none." Well, we're going to be doing much better than that today and tomorrow. But I think we choose our own superficial treatment for anxiety. And it's the treatment the world tends to offer. You're feeling anxious? Have some alcohol, have some marijuana, work harder, earn more money, increase your popularity. These are the world's answers to anxiety. And at first, they seem to work. They can numb anxiety. They can provide a hit of an exhilaration, a thrill. You feel better for a little while. But in the long run, if those are the things we turn to regularly when we're anxious, they create more chaos in our lives rather than generating calm. And what Becky and I will be talking about in part is true holy comfort. If we receive the right comfort for our wounds of anxiety, it helps us become more courageous. It activates us in God's kingdom work, and it turns our struggles into success stories. That's what God wants to do with all of us. So whatever your current emotional wound is, whether you can relate to my own suffering with anxiety, depression, relational problems, if we will invite God and healthy people into the problem and into the emotional struggle, He will turn it into a kingdom success story. And so Becky and I will be walking you through how to access that level of comfort and how to get freedom from these superficial comforts that just make matters worse in the long run.
Becky?
Well, she keeps throwing
it back at me, but Alice, you're going to be the heavy lifter here.
And I just love your insight into how we do so quickly go to man-made remedies for what is troubling us.
And I just told the testimony of somebody who was struggling with anxiety, and they were talking about how the Word of God medicated them in a good way. But it wasn't just the Word of God. It was also very good connections with people who could hear and hold space. And one of the challenges that we have with anxiety is that it can keep us stuck. And so getting movement is really powerful, and anxiety can push us as well. I know you're going to do an incredible job. We've got a huge group. We've got over 200 people that are going to join us tomorrow night, but you know what? There's still room for more. So we hope that you'll join Alice and I, and you're going to learn something, and maybe you're just curious. It's worth the time that you'll spend with us.
Yep, and it's only 90 minutes for anybody who says, I don't have time for this. Yeah, it's only 90 minutes. If you say you don't have the money for it, it's less than $20. If you say it's too far, no, it's a webinar. We're coming to your house. Maybe you're saying, wait, my house? I need to tidy up. No. We can't see you. You can only see us. You can get all the details at newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Michael, we're going to talk to you in just a moment. Hang on.
I went to Everyman's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Orange County, California, September 26th through the 28th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go right to the telephone. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. And here is Michael in Baltimore, Maryland, whose pastor referred you to us. Well, thank your pastor on our behalf. Hi there, Michael. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what's going on? How can we help you?
Me and my wife have been separated for roughly 5 years now. We have more recently decided to try and give it a go. We are still living in separate households at this point in time. I'm living with my mother, and she's living with her father. I was just trying to, I guess, get some insight, get some recommendations, or possibly, maybe for counselors or to see how we could possibly get ourselves back on track in a godly way.
All right, Becky, what would you say to Michael?
Well, Michael, first I want to know what caused the separation 5 years ago, because that's a pretty extreme amount of time. And did you get help in the 5 years during that time?
She's got some trauma in her life prior to us coming together, which, in my opinion, makes it difficult for her to trust people, especially men, which is a lot of our, in my opinion, issues. We have also, and this is kind of why in my past, I have been very passive. I'm getting better at not being as passive as I used to be. But certainly, being that for so many years, I still need help with not being passive and being the leader that I believe she needs to be. We have seen counselors in the past. She's not a big believer in counselors. She's been going to counselors on and off for a while now, and just, I guess, she doesn't really see results from it, so she's not a big believer in them. So I guess. And
so the other part of that too, Michael, is in this 5 years, how often do you see each other, talk to each other, interact?
More recently, since we've been decided we're going to try and get back together. We have a daughter together, so I see her pretty regularly. I'm over their house often enough. At least 2-3 times a week. Maybe not for like a whole day or anything like that, but, the past 2 years, we've, gone on vacations together in the summertime and stuff like that. So, it's not like we're, separated.
Well, you are. Here's the challenge, Michael.
First of all, I got one more question. I know we always talk about don't ask too many questions, but I got all the questions that I have to ask. Michael, how long have you guys been married, including the separation?
Including the separation, it would be about 19 years.
Okay. So see, you're telling us a story. You're giving us a framework of, what, and without even some details. There's some challenges that I'm hearing with just that intimate connection with each other. And you're going to have, in order for you guys to get together, there has to be a plan and a process that's not intermittent. it's not like, well, she doesn't like counselors, or we went to this one, but then we went to this other one. There has to be a plan. But my big question for you is, give me a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being all in, till death do us part, and 1 being I'm already done. Where are you on that scale?
I am probably on the 9 to 10 scale, keeping it together.
Okay.
What would she say?
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't like speaking for other people, so I don't know. I mean, I think she's open to it. I think it's just there's like I said, a lot of issues in her past, and there's still issues we're still trying to work out.
Right.
Well, Michael, let me give you one thing. I'm going to turn it over to Alice. What I would say is, like I said, the path of the process has to be, you have to have some plan in order for it to go forward. I would invite you both to come to our intimacy and marriage in October to get a start into this new life. And I know everyone's listening going, Becky, you say that all the time. But literally, you guys have been apart. You've created this life for 5 years that's intermittent connection. And that's going to be a big challenge to overcome on top of the stuff that caused the separation. And if your wife has trauma from her past that hasn't been healed, how do we help each other get through that, get to the healing that we need? But with that, I will turn it over to Alice and quit asking a million questions.
Michael, we all honor that you are making an attempt to reconcile. You're up against so much, and she may not have the motivation level that you do, but you're trying to live by your covenant, and God will show up with grace if you're willing to keep initiating the steps that will be difficult to take in reconciliation. But I believe you that you are determined. As she has this history of not trusting, I'm sure that history spills over onto you. And you might be falsely accused at times of things you never did. But you also have the humility to say, I've been too passive. I know that's been a problem. Have you ever broken trust with her, Michael, in even just a small way?
I would have. I think everybody has broken trust with anybody in small ways. I don't think there's been anything that was significant.
And so no infidelity on your part, excessive alcohol use, lies?
No.
The fact that you're able to say, but I probably have in some small way where maybe you disappointed her, maybe you didn't follow through on something. I think that's probably accurate because like you said, we all do. And she may have taken those small disappointments and perhaps in her mind they've been exaggerated because of that previous pain that she went through. Were there men in romantic relationships that broke her trust, betrayed her, were sexually unfaithful to her in the past?
Yes.
Yes to all of that. So, Michael, in the Christian way of recovery, but just psychologically, this is what's most effective. Are you willing to be the sacrificial lamb? Are you willing to sit in the seat, knowing that she doesn't trust you, even though you may not deserve that from her? You're probably going to have to face the pain that all those other men have caused and be willing to be a listener to that pain much longer than is comfortable. And you're going to have to take on a bit more than what belongs to you. How does that affect you hearing that from me?
I am willing to do that. I feel unprepared to do that, if that makes sense.
It does. You need a guide to keep it safe, because I'm not saying take responsibility for what those other men did. But when she brings up her fear, she accuses you of something you didn't do. The most normal reaction is defend. I did not. I've never broken trust with you in a major way. I don't understand why you don't trust me. But if we flip that around to say, oh, you don't trust me. Tell me more. Why don't you trust me? Tell me about the times I've disappointed you. And I bet it reminds you of those other guys that really broke trust with you. So I'm just going to listen to the ways I've hurt you, and I'll even listen to the ways they hurt you. And I'm going to try to understand why you can't trust men. And Michael, you have a leg up on this because you know some of her history already. But emotionally, it feels almost impossible to just sit there and listen when you're justified in exonerating yourself because you've been a good man, but she's treated you like those other guys. A good therapist can help you know how to do that. And it's through an exercise that's fairly simple, but emotionally difficult. It's called the comfort circle. And it's just where you do extended listening with a lot of repeating, reflecting back what you hear, and no self-defense and no self-justification in order to help her get to the core of the wound. And you get to do retroactive healing by being the one to be a listener and to be a sacrificial lamb. And it doesn't mean you agree with all the things she throws at you. It just means you try to understand it. And with a good clinician that we can connect you with, we've got a network of counselors that we have vetted, Michael, and we can connect you with a solid marriage counselor. And Becky's advice about that intimacy in marriage, that it's worth about 6 months of treatment to go to one of our weekend intensives. It just launches you forward through a whole lot of pain because of all the group support and the counselors we have at that weekend. Michael, that will make a world of difference if you will try this with your wife. And we can send you a book, How We Love, which explains exactly how to go about what I'm advising you to do.
I have another, Michael. I'm trying to put the picture in my head about how this all came apart. And I imagine if your wife has these past traumas and these wounds, those first 9 years of marriage were a little bit too intense. And I don't know how old your daughter is. I'm assuming she was born within that first, was she born after you left or during the time you were together?
During the time we were together.
Okay. And then what was the big explosion that you had to leave the house? I want to know about that.
At the time, we were living in a house supplied by her family. So it was, in my opinion, her house, or her family's house. When obviously we were having troubles. When she finally told me she needed me to move out, she couldn't even really give me a reason. She says, I'm so angry right now, I don't even know the reason right now.
The reason why I asked that, Michael, is because in marriage, this is our closest relationship. And it will bring out things like if she's had past trauma, you being too close, it's not a blame thing. It's just a reality of that intensity of the close connection. We talk about, marriage is like where our histories collide. It's where, when she says something like, you just need to get out, she doesn't have the space internally to really process whatever has gone on with her past. And I don't even know if she's even shared with you all the details, but it's a pretty significant thing for you to leave the home and then to decide, well, I'll just stay gone. I know you don't want to push her, you're trying to protect or to care for her. And then I know I keep asking you questions, Michael. This is what therapists do. I can't help it. But I want to know, when you called the pastor, I'm sure this has been a burden for you.
Mm-hmm.
You want your family together, or, that's what you said, 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, that you want you guys to be a unit. And so, I'm sure, if I were to ask you, how many different ways have you tried to get back into the house, or what has that discussion been like?
I haven't really got to that discussion yet because there's a lot of baggage with that too. Like I said, right now I'm living with my mom, and my father has recently passed away, so she left in the house by herself. She is now living with her dad and her sister-in-law. My sister-in-law several years ago passed away, who used to live with him and help take care of him. There's lots of dynamics going on right now.
Right. There is. And here's the other part of this, Michael. If we wait until everything makes sense, we won't do anything. That's kind of like what Alice and I were talking about with anxiety. We can become anxious just because things are so out of order and so upset. And Alice also said we have therapists, and we got tons of therapists in the Maryland area that can help the two of you. And I would say maybe the approach would be to your wife. I know that we have a difficult time figuring out how this is going, but can we go together and begin to create a plan for whatever the future looks like? We're not going to try and solve everything. This is not what, we're not going to fix you. We're not going to fix me. Let's just start somewhere. We got to have a baseline and to create a family together. You want that for your daughter. She's growing up in this confusion, and let me tell you, it gets tough. But aging parents, it's a lot. We're going to get you connected. I love How We Love, and I also hope that you'll join us in October for Intimacy in Marriage.
Yes, and we've also got a webinar coming up in just a few weeks that we're going to be telling you more about soon. It's called Renewing Love. You guys can watch that online. And for your wife, we recommend that she attend the Restore Healing After Betrayal Intensive. That is happening in November in Washington, D.C., not too far from where you guys are there in Maryland. Okay.
That would be great.
Yes, it would. And stay on the phone. We're going to send you a copy of How We Love from New Life Live.
Here at New Life, we want you to have transformation. And so we have created the New Life courses, and you meet weekly on Zoom with a coach or counselor. You're going to have teaching as well as that group connection, because we know how powerful that is. We hear that all the time about our intensives, that they love the information, but the group process is so powerful. And many of you have been hesitant to participate because you're not sure, the timing, the price. The New Life courses are going to meet you right at that area of need. Every week you're meeting on Zoom with that therapist. You're going over the concepts as well as connecting as a group. It is so powerful, and it's accessible. Wherever you are, you're going to be able to join us.
Embark on your journey of personal growth and self-discovery in September with a New Life course. Lose it for life, take your life back, or healing is a choice. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do, because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Investing just 1 hour a week for 12 weeks in community with others seeking growth can lead to lasting change. Here's what a past attendee of one of our New Life online courses said. The path I was on before was one of denial, a lack of self-care, and an attempt to control everything in my life. But your program enabled me to see the light. That could be your story too. You can get all the details at newlife.com. Hurry, though. Classes start next week. We've got 3 courses that you can choose from. And Becky Brown is here as well. She can tell us all about them, but they're called Take Your Life Back, Lose It for Life, and Healing is a Choice. What will people, how do people choose which one they should attend?
Well, these 3 courses are the backbone of what we do here at New Life. When you think about healing as a choice, this is core to how we approach healing. Literally, it's confronting the lies that we are living by and really looking at the truth. And the true truth is what we say, but also lose it for life. It's not what you're eating as much as what's eating you. What are you feeding in your life? And weight management, we hear about it all the time. Everybody's talking about it. But this is that connection between the emotional, the physical, the spiritual, and the mental. How does our eating impact our lives? And then Take Your Life Back. This is one of those core books where we talk about working your side of the street, not being controlled by others. Some people will talk about codependency and what does that look like? How do we get free from the burden of other people, and not to be isolated, but to be able to be fully present and fully connected without feeling controlled. So I think there's something for everybody in each of those, but just pick one. Don't let this year end without making a decision to pour into a new life. We want you there.
Imagine making these changes now so that by the time 2026 begins, everything is just, I mean, you've got that fresh start. I know there's people that maybe had goals for 2025 and that they didn't quite pan out. And maybe they're even thinking, well, I'll just wait to make another New Year's resolution in 2026. No, start now, right?
The time is going to pass anyhow. What will you do with it? The material from those 3 books launched my life forward, with each one, when I did the work, contained in the book. And that will work for anybody that's willing to do it.
Yeah. So get more details.
And I said the other day, that September's like the new year. So, I mean, that's not new with me, but I'm just saying, don't wait till January. Like you said, Brian, let's do it now. Let's do something now.
That's right.
To make a difference in our lives. Yeah,
that's right.
I love that.
More details at 1-800-NEW-LIFE when you call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or at newlife.com. And now we're going to go to Nancy, who is in Eatonville, Washington, who was referred to New Life by a friend. We love all these referrals. Thank you, everybody, for telling your friends and your family about us here at New Life Live. Nancy called 1-800-229-3000. How can we help you today, Nancy?
Well, my husband and I are elderly, I guess you'd call us. Anyway, we just adopted our 3, almost 4-year-old great-granddaughter, August 8th. We got her from the hospital. She was a drug-addicted baby. But they said that she's doing really well. She's smart. She might have ADHD. I see the capital H right now. But anyway, my husband's getting a little bit with her as far as discipline, but I don't like the discipline because she just turns around and does the exact same thing. She shuts doors on me. She throws things at me. She hits me. She screams at the top of her lungs at me. And I know the terrible 2s, but I'm saying the terrible 3s. I'm at my wit's end. We were just going to go to a play date. She gets in the car and goes from one side to the other. And I threatened to not go, and it doesn't even faze her. It just, I'm trying to get her into groups like a preschool, and it's just, I'm at my wit's end. I've never had a child like this.
Well, I was going to ask, how old was the mom? How old was the mom of this child?
We raised her and her brother too. She was, 3 years ago, she's just turned 29 in July, so she was 26. I can't even think.
26?
Sure.
Yeah, 26 or so. Yeah. Well,
and
Nancy, do you have...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Oh, I was just going to say she's still a hot mess. This baby was full of fentanyl and meth, and she's still going her own path. She hasn't hit bottom. We love her, but we just hate what she's doing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, Nancy, the reason why I asked that is because some of the stuff that you're seeing with this child is a result of being born into addiction. I mean, literally. And so there's going to be some behaviors that aren't just a typical 3-year-old or, like you said, 2-year-old, and she could have ADHD. But there's also some neurological challenges that have to be addressed. You're going to need to have some counseling and some understanding about how her brain works. And then also, you guys are going to have some respite. Like you said, a good preschool can help with some of it, but not if she's acting out at preschool. You can hear the music. Nancy, don't go away. We're going to keep talking, but I just didn't want to run right out of time, Brian.
I appreciate that, Becky. Nancy, stay on the phone. We'll continue our conversation when we come back in just a moment here on New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us with your questions today, and we're going to be in the studio for 2 hours, so you've got plenty of time to call in. The sooner you call in, the better of a chance you'll get on. 1-800-229-3000.
was stuck. I was so stuck. 27 years married. My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our life. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
You guys helped me figure out what was going on.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Nancy, thank you so much for calling in today. Are you still with us?
I am.
All right. Dr. Alice, did you have any questions for Nancy? Or Becky, go ahead. I'm sorry. You were.
I had asked Nancy.
Right.
Nancy, do you have any counselors that anybody that's helping you with this child?
No, because my husband just gave me the number of this New Life minister that, well, he used to be at the high school up here in Eatonville with the kids, and then they discontinued the whatever it was up there, probably because of what they're going on now in the schools. I don't know. But anyway, they meet for coffee, so he just gave him the number because they are worried about her and I. I mean, we do have, like you asked about respite, and I do. We have our son. My husband says he's raising 6 and he made 1. Our son, they bought a house up in Eatonville so they could be close to her, and in our will, we have, if anything happens to us, that they would take her so she wouldn't go to a foster home. And we're only 4 miles away, so I get respite all the time. She's off on Fridays. She takes her, and it's great because we can go out for dinner or do whatever. But then I don't know. She spends the night over there, and she comes back, and it's like all over again. I mean, I know. I have a feeling it is the drugs.
Nancy, her brain. Well, it's all of that. Her brain has been impacted, but also her, just even in utero. I mean, we know that the brain is impacted by in utero. We know it's impacted by delivery, that bonding. I don't know if mom has ever been part of her life at all. Is she?
Never.
Okay. And even though she may not have that, she doesn't know her as mom. She knows you as mom.
Yeah, she calls me Mama.
Okay.
And Papa.
Right.
So yeah.
You're doing just an incredible job in the generosity of opening up your home yet again to raise another generation. And I would think at times you must feel powerless and like the chaos
I sleep good at night.
You sleep well at night because you're exhausted. Yes, I believe that. It just must feel like you've been living in chaos for probably decades with all you've been doing helping grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Is that right?
Well, like I said, the grandchildren, my middle son and his wife at the time were on meth for 10 years, and they had to go somewhere. We just don't want them they're my blood. I don't want them going to a foster home.
You're willing to step in and sacrifice again and again. And when I heard you talk about your husband, I think his form of discipline worries you, and you think it's misapplied with this great-granddaughter.
I think it's almost like it's not. He thinks it's working, but he puts her in the corner and holds her there, which, they say put her in timeout. But then she'll get down and she will just repeat whatever it is. It's like it doesn't click. But she doesn't like the corner.
I understand your concern about it. A tough thing about discipline is that it's such a long-term plan. I mean, even just something as simple as teaching our children to say thank you without being prompted. It takes over 1,000 times of repeating that for it actually to stick. I remember my child was probably like 6 or 7 when for the first time he said thank you without being asked. Like, what? All these years and now it comes out? So I don't want you to totally lose hope in the discipline. It's okay to refine the discipline, and I think it'd be really good to get some professional opinions about how best to discipline this child and balance out the grace you give her, the professional treatment, mental health treatment, maybe even medication. She's awfully young, but I'd want a psychiatric evaluation for her with all that she's gone through. But discipline doesn't appear to produce fruit in the moment. It appears to make things worse because the child rebels against the discipline. So of course it worries you, but discipline is a long-term plan that produces fruit down the road. So I'd ask you to both be supportive of what your husband is trying to do while suggesting to him, good, I'm glad you are, while suggesting to him, how about we get a professional in here to help us refine what we're doing with this kiddo, with what her brain has been through. There's a particular form of therapy called ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis. And it's an in-home therapy. So the therapist comes into your home. It's often supplied by the state with something like in California, it's called the Regional Center. When a child has a mental health diagnosis like ADHD or having been born through meth addiction from her mother, the state will often supply services to your family to supplement the help that you're already getting from other family members. And I think your great-granddaughter could use that.
Well, here's the thing.
Go ahead, Becky.
Say it, Nancy. Go ahead.
Oh, we already have services that after adoption, the state gives us services.
Good.
Or, like her activities, what would she do? And I want to go through Christians, not through
secular.
Yeah.
Well, and so here's, Nancy, here's the thing. There are Christians that work in state organizations. Okay? So, and your faith is very important, and we are all about Christian help. Obviously, we've got a whole network of therapists. One thing I want to say about your husband's discipline, here's the thing about when you have a child who has, I would just, without even seeing the child, I would guess that she has brain injury because of I think you said her mom was addicted to fentanyl, and she's using fentanyl. Is that right?
Fentanyl and meth.
Yeah.
Both.
And we know the devastating effects of both of those drugs. I mean, fentanyl will kill you it's just, both of them are detrimental.
It breaks my heart. Yes.
I'm sure.
I don't want to say the word, but I was very, very upset.
I'm sure. It's devastating. And for this child, a typical put them in the corner kind of response could also be detrimental. And so what Alice is talking about is we have to have appropriate discipline for this particular child that the two of you can do. And it has to be a team effort. It's not just the two of you. It's also going to be your son and daughter-in-law down the road that are helping. Like, everybody has to have a plan for this child.
And they're willing.
And I know it sounds like you guys have a great team, but I don't want you to resist the help that the state could offer because they're not Christian based. I think that you have enough discernment, Nancy, that you can say if they, suggest something that may offend you or may not align with your beliefs, you can have that conversation. Ethically, they will support you, but you need this help because I don't know how old you are, Nancy, but listen, I'm 63 and I would be tired if I was raising my okay, see, I get it. It would be hard. They have lots of energy but we want to do the best for this child and for you two as well.
Go ahead, Alice.
Nancy, we also want to make sure you have a place where you can offload the stress, both of parenting her, but also dealing with the family members who are still in addiction. Because of course that affects your heart. It affects how competent you feel as a mom and grandma and great-grandmother. And so you need a place with probably again a counselor where you can just let your guard down and you can be angry, whatever that word was you were going to use. You can be rageful, you can hate what's happening to you, and you can do that in a protected conversation with a counselor who can help guide you through, process the anger that you righteously have, so that you can still have enough sanity and serenity to serve this kiddo who's in your home.
Do you think Nancy would benefit from the anxiety webinar you're doing tomorrow?
Definitely.
No, I mean, not that she's going to rage and show her anger at the webinar, because that's not what that's for. But
we can handle it.
Yes. I also had a question for you, Nancy, and it might seem kind of off the wall, but when it comes to your granddaughter and her hyperactivity, how's her screen time? Like, does she have her own phone or her own tablet or anything? Is she constantly?
No.
Good. Okay.
No. In fact, I just signed her up it's a homeschool group for 3- and 4-year-olds to get together with other kids one day a week at the church up here.
Oh, Nancy, you are the best great-grandma.
And then there was another one. There's another co-op preschool. Starts in January because she has to be 4 and potty trained. She's stubborn, but she's doing all right now. Anyway,
but Nancy, even her potty training is impacted by her beginning. This is what we're talking about with you. When you're looking at her, you have to understand her neurobiological beginning is impacting every part of her life. And we got to get that brain healthy. And you are a great grandma. I mean, literally, great-great-grandma.
When children are naughty, it's helpful, rather than to just think, what a bad kid I have, to wonder, do I have a hurt child, a confused child, an overwhelmed and overstimulated child? Because we know that is what happens to a brain who has been exposed to drug use early on like this.
Should we send a copy of How We Love Our Kids to Nancy?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
Stay on the phone, Nancy. We'll send you a copy of How We Love Our Kids at no cost to you. We'll be back. 1-800-229-3000.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 Steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to New Life Live, watching, as I like to call it. Thank you also for praying for us and for the hurting people who call in to New Life Live. And thank you for your financial support. If you've recently given to New Life, or maybe you're a monthly member of Club New Life, we can't say thank you often enough or loud enough. Thank you. See, Terry can only let my microphone level go up so much. But seriously, Becky Brown, president of New Life Ministries, why is it so important for people to give toward the work of New Life?
Do you know, today we had 2 callers who were referred to us from people who listen. And they didn't know about us, but the people that listened knew and trusted us to help their friends and their loved ones. If the radio program wasn't on, that wouldn't be possible. I mean, it would just be, nobody would hear the help that we're giving. And, I know it's not real shiny and, interesting to say it costs to be on radio, but it costs to be on radio. It's one of our biggest expenses because of the cost of airtime. Christian radio is, something that we have to pay for. It's part of our budget. And we believe in the power of radio because of so many callers who will call in and say, I just happened to be in the car and I heard you talking and this is my problem. We want to help people find their new life. And when you give to New Life, you're helping support the radio program, which also is a podcast, which is also on the internet. We are helping people all around the world with having a new life, and that transformation is it's expensive, but it's priceless. We want to celebrate the people who have had those opportunities to give to the ministry and have experienced that new life. So if you've never given, today is the day to give.
Or if it's been a while since you've given, go online to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can also text NLM to 28950 and make a donation, large or small, or you can become a member of our monthly Club New Life, and we can get you more information about that on our website, newlife.com. Becky, you brought up a really good point. The 2 calls, Michael and Nancy, were both of them referred them to call us. But imagine those conversations if Michael was sitting with his pastor and there was no New Life Live on the radio. That part would have just remained blank. It just would have hung up in the air and then Nancy, she said her husband was having coffee with a friend, and that person also said, hey, you guys should call New Life Live. So again, they'd be having coffee and we wouldn't have been brought up because there would be no New Life Live.
That's right. And it's also the Christian counseling. This is what we're doing. We are solid in our faith. We are solid in our professions. And we've been doing this for a while. And we want to continue to help people. But, I will even talk to clinicians. And when we listen to the show, because we still do, it's kind of like group supervision. That's one of the things that we do in professional therapy training is we'll sit and we'll listen to other people and the clinical cases that they work on. So when you listen to the show, you're listening. And we've even heard donors say the same thing. They'll say, it's like I'm sitting behind the therapist couch listening in on what the answer is. And so we can learn, and we can also learn to be more supportive of the people that we love and that we do life with.
Yep. And there are several ways that you can get your question to us. We like it when you call in to 1-800-229-3000. But if you can't do that, you can go to newlife.com/radio to find how to leave us a voicemail or how to send us an email. And that's what Mary did in Allentown, Pennsylvania. She watches us on YouTube. She asks, how do I manage feelings of not fitting in or falling behind? I'm a 65-year-old woman still working full-time. while most of my friends and my boyfriend are retired and very financially comfortable. I've supported myself most of my life and plan to retire in a year or so, though I'll be living modestly. I try not to compare, but it's hard when conversations revolve around second homes, great vacations, big spending. How do I manage these feelings of not fitting in or falling behind, even when I know I've done pretty well on my own terms? And what does the Bible say? Alice?
Oh, Mary, that's tricky. And that must be difficult for you to be working full time. They're all enjoying a very luxurious retirement. Part of the answer is being able to identify what you feel when they bring those things up and you feel less than. And so it might be anger, disappointment, frustration, regret, even though you've saved well, even though you're getting there soon. The way they get to live rubs you wrong. Being allowed to know what you feel and talk about it with someone outside of that group. I'm so angry that they have such a luxurious life and I don't. I'm so frustrated that I'm still going to work and they get to have fun all day. I'm so sad that they have more than I do, that my parents maybe didn't set me up as well as theirs might have earlier on in life. Whatever those underlying feelings are, the process of therapy is usually partly lament. It's grief. It's being able to talk through what those feelings generate and then what you need. So you might need reassurance from your boyfriend that you two will have a lot of fun together in retirement. But even before then, you might need understanding from some of your friends. You might need the reassurance that they love you as you are, despite lifestyle differences. So, in summary, identify the emotions and explore what it means about what you need from them or from a counselor who can help you process those emotions.
Becky?
Well, one of the things I would say is we need a reframe here. You said that you'll probably be working longer, you won't have the same financial resources, and we have to make peace with that. And so finding purpose in the work that you're doing can help with that, but also creating strong internal fortitude. Some of you have heard me say this before. That insecurity that Alice is talking about has to be identified, and what the Bible says about that is, who are you in Christ? God's created you with a plan and a purpose, and it's uniquely yours. And one of those purposes for all of us is to glorify God. And when we get into a place of insecurity, it can cause us to behave in ways that isn't as becoming as we want. And it's also creating this pain for you. And so what I would encourage you to do is, I would say, work on getting that strong internal fortitude. And you can do that through group work. It can be with a counselor. It could also be, I would say you could read Healing as a Choice. It will help you examine some of the negative narrative that is going on in your life. I think the term is ants, right? Automatic negative thoughts, and take those captive and recognize this isn't, good for them. Like, you can get to a place where you can say, good for them, good for your friends who are doing what they're doing, but also finding joy in the work that you're doing. There are a lot of people that have a little bit different take on this, that they don't know what to do once they retire. So it's interesting that you're thinking about, I still have to work and I'm okay with it, but there's this outlying negative feeling. So let's take those captive and really work on reframing and enjoying every day of your life.
And Mary, check for a deeper level. Does it frustrate you that you have a boyfriend and you two are not moving towards marriage perhaps at this time in your life? And is there a history of feeling like you're not fitting in? Because when there's similarities in the past, they can exacerbate the feelings you're having in the present. And talking that through helps to decrease the discomfort you're feeling.
Mary, thank you for sending in your question through the newlife.com/radio page, and the book that Becky recommended. It's called Healing as a Choice, which also happens to be one of the 3 courses that we are offering at New Life next week. These are online courses, 1 hour a week for 12 weeks. Healing as a Choice is the name of it. It's the name of the book too, and you should register for that definitely. And also don't forget the webinar that Alice is doing tomorrow. Can't wait for that. It's called From Chaos to Calm, and you can still sign up. Get the details at newlife.com or call 1-800 New Life. It's less than $20. We hope to see you there. God bless you guys. We're going to be in the studio for another hour. Call in 1-800-229-3000. We would love to chat with you. God bless.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.